Hey everyone, today we are going to work on that General Electric portable power tool / drill that I got in that toolbox haul. It looks like it's going to need a rewiring. It's really dirty, but I'm not really sure if it's plated, painted, or whatever, but let's take a look at it and see what we're up against. Okay, this is the portable power tool, which really is a drill that I assume that the plan was you'd take the front off and you could hook it up to other attachments like a buffer or something like that. Well, we got Phillips and flathead screws. That's interesting. The cord, though not in bad shape, has had the ground snapped out of it, and since it is a metal body tool, that means we're going to replace the power cord. And I'm not quite sure how you take it apart like that. I guess you take these four off and this half comes off. Yep. And then the front, you grease it and all that is right there. Sorry, got my fingers in the way there. Flathead screws in the front, Phillips screws on the side. Interesting, it came with, the knob is still on it, which is nice. These are kind of hard to come by. But it's a good question. Is this plated or polished or painted? Looking at it closely, I'm gonna say it's polished, I guess. Well, we'll find out as we clean it. But anyway, that's what we got to do. Let's get busy. All right, so first things first, let's open it up, see what we got to do to get this power cord off. I haven't tested this because I don't like to test these before looking at them, and with the ground plug off, it would have meant it was, if the wire's broken anywhere in there, it's a shock hazard, so I did not bother to test it. Well, this is interesting. These screws are different sizes. 2 back, 2 front, and handle screw. All right, let's see. This should just come off, right? No? No, maybe this screw, this flathead, also holds cover on. May just be very stuck. Yep, just stuck. All right. Whew, a little dirty. So pretty clear. We can look at the brushes from here. Right here and here. Brushes look okay, just very dirty. Everything's dirty in here, and a little rust, corroded maybe, I'd say. But not bad. Trigger feels good. So we've got a terminal ring, a clip, and a wire nut. That's interesting. But overall, pretty easy. This is an interesting ring to hold the cord in place, so the cord doesn't pull out. Maybe we'll put a different strain relief on there, since there is no strain relief here. My guess is that this is the original power cord, but maybe not. Let's look at this. So your black wire goes into the switch, your white wire goes here, and your green wire gets a terminal ring there. So the black wire has a plug. It's kind of an interesting, slightly different setup than a lot of them, but not hard, and it's not that dirty inside. Made in USA. My guess is this is 1960s or so. So let's get the cord done first, and we're going to clean this all out. Put some oil on the rear bearing. You can see all the corrosion in here. So it's going to need a good cleaning. And it looks like I may have to kind of hold things in place when I do it. But ooh, that is a big hornet. Hopefully not coming towards me. I wonder if they're starting to build a nest in those. I have not worked on those yet. All right, so let me get a new power cord and some connectors, and we'll get busy. All right, decided before I even do the cable, I'm gonna spray some cleaner in this thing. That was just cleaner. We don't want to leave it like that. We're gonna have to oil the front and rear bearings up a bit. I wanted to kind of spray that thing clean before I do the cord. So no solder, that wire was just attached. Green. All right. I've got a power cord here. I think black will look fine with this. I believe orange was correct, but let's see, how much wire do we need? About here. So if you've ever seen me do this, you've heard me say this before, you don't want to press very hard on this. Just lightly, and let it eventually cut through the outer insulation, which it will do, and then you can usually pull it apart before you start stripping out your inside insulation, which you definitely do not want to do. Okay, we're through. Off. Alright, so we need a terminal ring with a green wire. That would be a blue. because this crimper is blue. We're using blue on the... Alright. For black, we need a clip that's big enough for that. Let's see what we've got. That looks too big. Any small ones? Yep, we got blue. So I think that's the right size. Yep. All right. Again, we're blue, so we're going to use blue. And the white wire, we simply wire nut into that. I think we'll repeat that. Okay, that's on. Oops. That was unfortunate that I did that. I gotta check out our strain relief here. Let's see. That's actually gonna be too big, I think. There's very little room here for a strain relief. Unfortunately, if you look at how small this is, they just wanted to use these metal rings to hold the cord in. So maybe we'll just do the same thing. Because this is very thick insulation here. I don't often use wire nuts on these types of jobs, but for this one we will. And then I'm going to actually put these guys back on. gonna put some liquid electrical tape down. If you're not familiar with this, I use it a lot. It dries solid like electrical tape. Works really well. This tube is quite old. But so what I do is, when I use wire nuts inside a drill like this, I'm just putting an extra layer of insulation on it. You know, around this strain relief too is probably not a bad idea. Not really necessary, but it'll dry like harder rubber. All right, so okay, let's this is dry lube. This is good for oiling motors. I gotta clean out this side of the case. Yeah, I got some grief one time from someone because I did not take the brushes out. But honestly, in all of these drills that I've done, the only time I've ever had to work on the brushes, because they're usually pretty good, is Craftsman big heavy drill that I did. And that was because one of the wires connecting had broken. All right, so we're just gonna put, this is 30 weight oil. I'm just gonna put some okay. This screw did not really need anything. The other ones kind of need to be cleaned up a bit, but yeah. So I'm going to put some goggles on and gloves, and I'm going to clean up those 4 screws with the wire brush, because it saves time when I go to polish the drill. I don't have to worry about getting in there deep and polishing these screws. Normally, at this hour, during the summer in Florida, you would never be outside. The mosquitoes would be all over you. I'm sure I'll see some, but I've got a mosquito control system working, which I don't know if that video will be out yet or not, but it seems to work really well. Okay, like I always say, snug them up, then tighten them. But we're going to check our trigger before we tighten these, because we did move it around a lot. Trigger and trigger lock work. Okay, now's a good time. Let me put this screw back in. I don't think we needed to remove these. We'll be taking them out in a minute to grease it. But let's get some power down here and see if this thing works. I'll be surprised if it doesn't. All right, so the way I do this is an on-off switch. It's on-off. I plug it in. then I put it on, nothing happens, then I'm good to pull the trigger. These gloves are rubber, so seems to work pretty good. Well, it did up until a second ago. Huh. Wow. All right, let's see. Just in case, I got oil on the brushes. Try to jump the switch. Our switch is bad. Wow, so we got a few triggers out of the switch before it went bad. Let's see if we can clean it again. That's what's going on. Our switch failed, just like that. Not much I'm going to be able to do if I can't get this switch going, because I'm not going to be able to get one of those. There's a part number on it though. Get it going now. Gotta kind of hold it down. Wow. That's unfortunate that our switch is gone. It is pretty corroded. Drive home my point again. Power. Yeah. All right. That is greatly unexpected. It's just not common. Working a little bit, so maybe we can get it going with the contact cleaner. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. Keep this thing off and unplugged, and I'll be back in a few. All right, I've got it back together. So the switch apparently was very much corroded inside, and so that's why. I really thought we were gonna have to abandon the switch, but no, we are back, and it's ready for us to take the front off and grease it. And that is pretty easy. Well, I've got the close-up. Just 3 flathead screws, 2 on top, 1 on bottom. At least I think that's how you grease this thing. I can't think of any other way to do it. All right, let's hope the camera does not shut off, because it seems to want to do that again today. It's hot out, but we're in the shade. Usually that's not a problem. But we're going to take these 3 screws off and see what's in there. Bad safety protocol there. It was still plugged in and the power was still on. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of hold the motor. Oh no, that was easy. Whoa, there is no grease in there. So here's where you grease it. These 3 screws the same. They don't want to come out. I guess they don't. Alright, so that kind of shows, wow, there is nothing, there's no grease in this thing. I believe you take these 2 screws off and we should see what's in there. But from the looks of it, there does not appear to be much grease at all. But it does look like that is how you used other tools with this, because this is a somewhat unique enclosed setup. I'm standing up here because I have to keep looking at the camera because it keeps shutting off on me. Alright, let's see. That come off? Let's be very careful here. Alright, there's the grease wheel. Yeah, that grease is not any good. Let me get my grease gun and we'll re-grease this. When applying grease, it's a good idea to wear gloves because your hands will smell like that stuff. And it's not a great smell and it doesn't go away easy. Pretty chalky. Be mindful when you do this to watch for little washers and things like that that might be there in place. Just chunks. It's very dry. And it's surprisingly not on the gears very much. I'm going to look to see if I can find any photos of how this thing was to be used as a multi-tool. I do think this is it, that you change the nose of it. I doubt very much they had you take the chuck off or use the chuck into something. So to me, I get the bulk of it out. I'm not that interested in getting every little smidge out. It's grease. Get the bulk of the chalky stuff out. You know, I think I'm going to get like 98% of everything out. I'm not going to bother cleaning in here. There's just no reason to. You're just going to fill it up with grease anyway. Alright, let's pump some more grease in there. Again, snug, then tighten. A little snug. All right. Get that out of the way. I am going to put a little bit of oil down in here. And I'm going to put a bit of grease on that. These screws are pretty clean. They don't seem to need me to wire brush them. They're dirty. That guy's very dirty. All right. Let's test it and work on the chuck. All right, I put my goggles on. So to clean up the chuck, I'm going to use the wire brush and the drill. All right, I bet that's more than this thing's run in a long time. So that kind of cleans the chuck up. And now we are on to cosmetics. For the labels, I'm just going to use glass cleaner. I don't want to use anything aggressive because I don't want to take a chance it's going to eat any of the paint. You never know, that label would have cleaned up that nice. It's okay to use like car wax, but not polish on these. Polish will take the ink right off. Like you can't see the 1/4. It just says 1/, but it's a quarter. Alright, so the labels are clean. I'm going to mask them off. I'll be right back. The reason why I'm masking these off is just because I want to be sure that when I polish it and whatever I do, steel wool the body is what I'm going to do first, that I don't accidentally scrape the label. These labels are irreplaceable. This is also a good thing to do if you're going to be painting it. But we will not be painting this drill, I don't think, but we're going to find that out. You know, it's funny, it kind of looks like it was painted, but I don't think so. We'll see once we clean it, if that's truly what was going on with it. I'm pressing down very hard because I want to make sure that it does not peel up. Good practice anyway when masking anything. Okay, we got one small label in the front. This one is already damaged, but we'll save what we can. All right, we're all masked. So the first thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna try regular WD-40 and steel wool. Now, you definitely want to wear gloves for this. I say this every time, and you know, it's happened to me more than once. I have got steel wool stuck in my skin, and it can be very difficult to get out. So I'm going to use very fine steel wool, and we're going to see what's actually going on with this thing. It looks like it is not painted. It's just very corroded and dirty. That's good. That means we can polish it. All right, looks a lot better. But we're gonna get the polisher out and take it to another level. All right, putting the goggles back on. We'll try red first, which is coarse because this finish is pretty bad. And we'll see. All right, so here we are. Hopefully you can see that. Let's see. So going from that to that pretty quickly too. Alright, and if you just take some polish off of it. Alright, let's give it a last wipe down. See what we got. As with all of these things, hold on, I gotta take my goggles off. As with all of these things, it depends on how far you want to take it. Things I'm just noticing now. This is brass. That's funny. It's warm. That polisher heats things up. All right, let's give it another rub down. What a difference. Well, I did find a chuck for it. Let me get a way to, well, I don't want to lose this, so let's just do it the old way. I think we can still oil this chuck up some. It's not the easiest to do. You want to get it so you can kind of spin it by hand a little bit. That's not going to work. I'm going to have to get a key holder for this thing. But there we go. Oh, the handle. Forgot all about that. You got to clean this thing up. Let's see how good the paint actually is if we just wipe it down. Is it rubber? Not quite sure what it is. Cleans up okay though. It's not wood. All right. Let me see if I can find a chuck. Well, no, we got it. We're good. All right. Put a tie wrap on that cord and we're done. All right, that's it. Only took me about 90 minutes. I got this thing going. I was really worried about that switch, but it came through, it came back. Once, I guess it just needed that contact cleaner really worked into it, but we're good to go. And you know, I'll note this, it's pretty close to 6 o'clock and I am not getting surrounded by mosquitoes. So you're gonna see my solution to that very soon. It's coming up in a video. If you like this sort of content, you know, please like and subscribe. That really helps me. It helps the channel grow. It helps me make more of this content and encourages me to make more of this content for sure. And hey, if you find one of these drills, toolbox haul, yard sale, flea market, what have you, and you think you want to restore it, I just showed you how. It's not hard. Hopefully your switch won't give you any grief like mine did. All you got to do is go out and get busy. Take care.